This is a real story of how harm reduction techniques saved my life even before I knew what harm reduction or the term even meant. Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, coming at you. So this is about how some of the harm reduction techniques put into place by New York State saved my life before I even knew what harm reduction is. And this happened before I got into any type of recovery, before I was in any type of situation I'm in now where I research this stuff daily and look at it. So I'm with a gentleman. Me and this person used often. We used a lot, me and him. So I'm with him and we are in a suburb of Rochester, New York, where I live, Greece, New York, going to get high. So we call the dealer. She's, meeting us, and then we call another dealer because the other one took too long, and he comes and he meets us, blah, blah, blah. So we end up having all these people meet us, get our stuff. Go back a little bit. I'm in full-blown withdrawal. I'm sick. It's probably hour 12, 13 since the last time I used, so it's really starting to ramp up. So we get our stuff. I'm sitting in the car. I'm with my friend, let's call him Ray. Let's say my friend's name is Ray. So me and Ray are using, and I haven't gotten high yet. Ray shoots up, gets high as a kite. At this point, I had not been shooting up a lot. So I'm probably on 6 weeks of shooting since the first time I shot up. I wasn't good at it. And yeah, there is levels of being good at shooting up, unfortunately. The more you do it, the more you learn how to do it, where to do it, how to hit it in the vein, how to get it to not clog up. But also the more you do it, the more you destroy your vein. So it's this back and forth catch-22. But I was not very good at it, to say the least. I go to do it and I clog my needle. That was the only clean needle I had. So now I'm sitting there in the car with Ray. He just shot up, got high as a kite. I clogged my needle. So now I got all this dope sitting in the needle. I'm gonna push it back in the spoon, but I don't have a clean needle to get high. Ray says you could use mine, no problem. Never shared a needle up to this point. Had no intentions of doing it. But I'm sitting there in full-blown withdrawal, having this battle in my brain of I could use his needle and do it, but I'm sharing a needle. Who knows if he's got anything? Who knows, what the situation is? What do I do? Now, before I tell you what I did, if you enjoy Soberdog's videos, smash that like, that subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So now here's how harm reduction was working for me in my life and for many people up to this point without even knowing it. I don't know what the hell harm reduction was at this point in time. In New York State, you can walk into a pharmacy and buy needles. All you got to do is show ID that you're 18 years old. This is mainly for diabetics to get their diabetes needles, but also they know, the state knows, everybody knows that addicts use this, I don't want to say loophole, but use this also to get their needles. So, and the state is okay with it. There's also needle exchanges here in Rochester, New York, where I live, where you can get clean needles. Because of this, I made a very wise choice at the last second. Was like, just drive to the pharmacy. Even though it was about 10 more minute drive, it's going to be 15, 20 minutes before I get high now. Even though I've waited, 13, 14 hours at this point in time, I'm freaking out, I'm in withdrawal, but whatever. Go into the pharmacy, buy a brand new pack of needles, go out, fill up my stuff, end up clogging the first one again, and this is where I start blaming it on the drugs, saying it's the drugs, it's shit stuff, they cut it, blah, 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 but get the second one and do it. The reason this story is so important, I end up finding out about 2 months later, Ray, this person I was with, has Hep C and potentially something else even worse. Couldn't confirm the second one. The first thing, Hep C for sure, Ray had. So if I would have used and shared his needle, there'd be a very high chance that I would also have Hep C. But because New York State had some harm reduction practices already in effect, and this is 2012-13, I was able to get clean needles. Here's where people, when we talk about this, the person is going to use no matter what. The people against this that are like, you're enabling addicts, here's my argument back to you. I would have used that day no matter what. If I had to share a needle, reuse a needle, if I had to, whatever I had to do, I was using that day. Not having a clean needle was not gonna stop me. I would have found any way to use. So why not let people have access to clean stuff? Because of that, I didn't get a disease. Still to this day, have no diseases from my addiction because of harm reduction practices like that that were put into place and allowed me to use safe, clean stuff. That is why harm reduction is so important. And that times millions of people using every day, think of how much less disease we could spread around the country and around the globe. No addict woke up or is going to wake up and say, I don't have clean stuff, I'm not using today. They're going to use old stuff, they're going to reuse stuff, they're going to share stuff, they're going to do whatever they have to do. So we might as well give them access to clean stuff. That is how harm reduction saved me from getting Hep C. K-Brug's a Soberdog and I'm out. See ya.